So Nike finally released their trailer for Caitlin Clark's sneaker. They finally did.
Finally, Nike has stepped up and delivered something worthy of Caitlin Clark. After months of missed opportunities, tone-deaf marketing, and treating the biggest breakout star in basketball like an afterthought, they've finally made a move that actually makes sense. And what a move it is! Caitlin Clark just got the commercial she has absolutely earned, and let me tell you, the response online is explosive. The moment the ad dropped, the floodgates opened. The haters? Oh, they're melting down. Social media timelines are flooded with tantrums, keyboards are practically on fire from angry fingers, and the sheer volume of salt in the replies could rival the entire Dead Sea. This isn't just backlash, it's a full-scale meltdown from people who can't handle her rise. And that's exactly how you know Nike nailed it.
Heard already, I'm pretty sure you have. Nike has released a new Caitlin Clark commercial, and they made it their business to show love and show out for none other than CC. Now, we know fans has definitely been in odds with the company ever since signing Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel as if they put Caitlin Clark on the back burner. I don't know, man. I'm a Nike fan. I know a lot of people gonna disagree with me on this, but I think Nike was strategic with their growth. People could be mad about it or feel whatever way they feel about it. But one thing I can tell you is that I feel as if they were strategic.
Nike finally unveiled Caitlin Clark's new Player Edition sneakers with a bold, high-impact coupe commercial, and it's nothing short of a turning point. Watching that ad play feels like seeing Nike wake up and remember exactly why they signed this generational talent in the first place. This is the same woman who dragged women's basketball into the national spotlight with her bare hands, who made WNBA games must-see TV, who packs arenas like she's hosting a once-in-a-lifetime concert. She's not just a player, she's a movement. And now, finally, she has a commercial that reflects that. It radiates her energy, her edge, and her competitive fire. And predictably, the critics can't handle it. They're huffing, puffing, and spinning in circles because deep down, they know this commercial represents a shift they can't stop.
Clark and Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance.
Let's get into it. What Nike just dropped isn't your typical ad, it's a thunderclap. It's a message to the world. When Caitlin Clark sits down in that chair, laces up those Kobe 5s, and stares into the camera with eyes that transform into sleek, serpent-like slits, channeling every ounce of the Mamba mentality, it's more than imagery, it's a declaration. The production? Flawless. The cinematography? Movie level. The atmosphere? Electric. Nike didn't just roll out another endorsement, they handed Caitlin Clark the kind of elite branding treatment reserved for legends. It's a long overdue acknowledgement that she's not just part of the league, she is the league. And after years of handing women's basketball the marketing leftovers, this feels like a course correction on a global scale.
We got something for Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. Where is the Mamba Caitlin? There we go. We get the Mamba logo. We have Caitlin on demon time right now. But yeah, it's good to know that they finally announced it as a Caitlin logo.
And right on cue, the usual suspects are out in force, crawling from the corners of the internet to launch their predictable gripes. Why her? They whine. What about other players? They grumble. She's only in her second year, this is overkill. The chorus hasn't changed since the moment Caitlin entered the WNBA. It's the same tired resentment repackaged for every new success she earns. These critics refuse to confront the obvious. Caitlin Clark has become the face of women's basketball. She's not just another young star, she's the driving force behind the sport's resurgence. And now that Nike has finally shown the guts to market her like the generational talent she is, the backlash isn't just transparent, it's proof of how far ahead she really is.
Now, people felt the type of way, about Caitlin Clark getting these PE shoes. A lot of people felt as if she should have her own signature shoe, which she should. She very should. But guys, no one had. I don't think there's any player that got a Kobe PE, bro. Like, do y'all know who Kobe was in the basketball world, bro? I'm just saying, like, Kobe didn't allow even his family. I'm pretty sure it's not just going to give his signature shoe to just some anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like other NBA players,
Let's talk numbers, because hype means nothing without results, and Caitlin Clark is delivering both. Those signature sneakers? Gone in 5 minutes. Yes, 5. That's not a typo. Nike's SNKRS app turned into a digital battleground, with people hovering over their phones like it was the latest Travis Scott collab. At $190 retail, they disappeared in seconds, and the resale chaos was immediate. Within hours, pairs were flipping on eBay for $375, with some listings climbing as high as $800. StockX reported an average resale price of $365 by day's end. This wasn't manufactured buzz. This was the market reacting to real demand, driven not by gimmicks, but by Caitlin's massive influence. That's not just impressive, it's proof that she's built a brand with undeniable power.
This is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here. No, I don't want to pay $600 on.
If you're still wondering whether this moment is real, just look at the numbers. The people criticizing Nike for giving Caitlin this spotlight have conveniently ignored what's been obvious for more than a year. This is the player who revived WNBA viewership. We're talking the highest TV ratings in 24 years, an average of 657,000 viewers per game. Of the 22 games that cracked the 1 million viewer mark, Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever played in 19 of them. She hasn't just moved the needle, she's torn it from the gauge and flung it into outer space. And yet, 4 months, Nike dragged their feet while pushing A'ja Wilson's signature shoe, catching heat from fans and former employees alike. People wanted answers, and now Nike has delivered one. Not through words, but through a campaign that makes it clear, they finally see Caitlin for who she is.
Oh, it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her.
The tension between the A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark narrative spiraled quickly into something toxic, with people injecting race, gender politics, and fan tribalism into what was, at its core, a business decision. But it got ugly fast. Nike faced a firestorm from inside and out. Former employees like Jordan Rogers, a 15-year Nike veteran, publicly torched the company for mishandling the most influential sports figure since Michael Jordan. The criticism wasn't subtle. How do you sign a player who changes everything and then slow play her like she's just another name on the roster? Meanwhile, the drama reached absurd levels when A'ja Wilson revealed she had known about her Nike deal for 2 years, but still played into the narrative that she was overlooked when Caitlin's contract went public. Subtweets, shade, strategic silence, it all fed a cycle of drama that overshadowed the real story. And that story is simple. Caitlin Clark is bigger than the WNBA, and certain corners of the internet are struggling to accept that reality.
Your stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, You have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. We never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature.
Nike has finally pivoted, and this time, they're going full throttle on their most valuable asset. That Kobe-themed commercial isn't just another marketing rollout, it's a full-circle moment, a strategic correction years in the making. It signals that Nike finally understands they're not dealing with an ordinary WNBA athlete here. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star or a hot rookie. She's a cultural juggernaut, someone whose presence at a game instantly broadens the audience. She's drawing in families, kids who now idolize her, men who never previously gave women's basketball a second look, and casual fans who have now turned into full-on diehards. She's reshaping the entire fan demographic. And the brilliance of the ad lies in its authenticity. It doesn't feel manufactured or overproduced. Clark has worn Kobe's since her college days, calling them her magic shoes, her babies, long before a camera ever captured it. So when she channels the Mamba mentality in that ad, it's not cosplay, it's a genuine tribute to a kindred spirit. Kobe Bryant would have admired her. The obsession with mastery, the ice-cold competitive fire, the way she elevates her teammates, Caitlin lives by those same principles. Nike finally captured that synergy, and it's nothing short of iconic.
The long-awaited, highly anticipated Caitlin Clark player exclusive, not her signature shoe. Remember, they're not creative enough to think of that. But that should be coming out in a few months as well. But the player exclusive, they're starting to give it the push. This is the rollout. We got a clothing line coming before the holidays. Let's see how many resources Nike puts behind Caitlin Clark now that we're going to start getting some of her merchandise coming out, and fans are.
So let's talk about what's really grinding the gears of her critics. It's not just the commercial, it's the shift that comes with it. For the first time, Nike is unapologetically presenting Caitlin Clark as the main attraction. Not a co-star. Not part of an ensemble. The headliner. And that shift in framing is seismic. Her signature shoe, expected to drop later this year, is already primed to rewrite the rulebook on women's sports marketing. For decades, women's sports were treated as a sideshow in the sponsorship world. Just 0.4% of total sports endorsement dollars went to female athletes. That's not just imbalance, it's systemic neglect. But now, Nike is flipping that script. From commercials to a Super Bowl ad, their first in nearly 30 years, featuring Clark, they're betting big on her visibility. That $28 million, 8-year deal she inked? At the time, it raised eyebrows. Today, it looks like the smartest investment Nike's made since Jordan. It's more than a lucrative contract. It's a message to the market: women's basketball is not only viable, it's profitable. And that recalibration is going to force every other brand to rethink how they value female athletes.
Finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around Gatorade, State Farm, Gamebridge, Wilson Basketball, have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something.
Look at the resale market, it's the most honest indicator of real-world demand. And Caitlin Clark's numbers are off the charts. Her player-exclusive Kobe 5s didn't just sell out, they exploded. Some pairs are hitting $8,000 on StockX. Others that retailed at $190 are flipping for an average of $365, nearly double the price. That kind of margin isn't common. That's superstar level heat. Only 13,000 pairs were made for the initial drop, and they vanished like smoke. That's not hype, it's proof that anything Clark touches turns into high demand gold. And when you zoom out to the WNBA landscape, the impact is staggering. Before Caitlin, the league hadn't cracked a 7-figure TV audience in 16 years. Now, her games routinely pull 1.09 million viewers, compared to 414,000 for other games. That's more than double. And the crowds? When she plays, attendance averages 15,591 fans per game. When she doesn't, it drops to 7,645. That's a 105% jump. Her road games see an 87% spike in turnout. She accounts for over 33% of total league attendance despite representing a fraction of the schedule. That's not normal, it's a revolution.
That these might not perform well, but just wait until I show you the stock numbers on these. Not only that, but apparently her jersey is in high demand too after she publicly defended Angel Reese. I didn't think that this colorway was going to do too well at first, but pre-sale is saying otherwise. These are currently pre-selling for over $300 and the retail is only $190. They drop on June 30th and the total stock on Nike US is just 13,000 pairs. For comparison, the Kobe 5 eggplant had just 30,000 pairs.
The ripple effect isn't limited to ticket sales or sneaker drops, it extends across the entire ecosystem of women's basketball. Consider this, the 2024 NCAA Women's Championship, led by Caitlin Clark, pulled in 18.9 million viewers. That wasn't just a record, it surpassed the men's final by over 4 million viewers. That's historic. And in the WNBA, her playoff appearances are smashing records too. ESPN's Game 2 of the playoffs drew 2.5 million viewers, the highest cable-exclusive audience the WNBA has ever seen. But Clark's impact doesn't end with her box score. Her games elevate the broadcasts that follow. Her presence boosts merchandise sales for other players. Entire franchises are benefiting from what analysts are now calling the Clark Halo effect. Her rise isn't just a personal win, it's a league-wide lift. She's setting new benchmarks and dragging the entire sport forward with her.
Far on NBA TV, 624,000 folks. We're talking 3 times the amount. We are talking 2 times the amount on a random channel called NBA TV. What's it going to take for these other games' viewership to start?
Nike is finally catching up to what the public already figured out months ago. Caitlin Clark doesn't just attract attention, she commands it. She's not a brand ambassador, she's the brand. And while critics try to dismiss her impact with tired narratives, Nike is sitting back and counting cash. The real scandal isn't that Clark finally got a commercial, it's that it took them this long. But now that they've pulled the trigger, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. Caitlin is the most marketable female athlete on earth. She's a ticket-selling, headline-generating, platform-crashing phenomenon. And Nike's decision to go all-in isn't just smart, it's overdue. While her haters spin conspiracy theories and moan about overexposure, Nike is riding a wave of record-breaking engagement and historic visibility. Caitlin Clark is that girl. Always has been. Always will be. And if Nike knows what's good for them, they'll keep treating her like the generational superstar she is.
Is it about Caitlin Clark? She's got it. She's got swagger. She's got, if you will, balls. She's tough. She's shrewd. She's not a good passer. She's all-time great. And she makes logo threes. And she makes them beautifully. She jump shoots the way Steph does from the logo, where she's not feet on the floor pushing set shots. She goes up, holds it, and flicks the wrist, and has incredibly underrated strength. She's just got all-time it factor. She's doing things on a nightly basis where you sit back and say, oh, she's selling them out like crazy. That's Jordan-esque. So in impact, she's already having Michael Jordan.
Nike's move to develop Caitlin Clark's signature shoe isn't just good branding, it's a landmark moment for the WNBA. Let's put this in context. In 28 years of WNBA history, only 12 women have ever received signature sneakers. By contrast, over 22 current NBA players have their own lines. The imbalance is jarring. That's why this shoe matters, it goes beyond style or sales. It's about symbolism. Nike likely won't make back the full $28 million from shoe sales alone, and that's not the point. The goal is alignment. Brand power. Visibility. The association with Clark is the real goldmine. When that shoe drops later this year, don't be surprised if the same people who cried foul over her commercial suddenly pivot to dismissing her sales numbers. But the market won't care. Just like the Kobe piece that vanished in minutes, just like the spike in attendance, just like the exploding TV ratings, everything Caitlin touches turns into a data point Nike can't ignore. This isn't just a sneaker. It's a cultural reset.
It's good to see that not only Nike are doing this, but Nike actually are willing to say, you know what, yeah, we'll give Caitlin her PE. We'll give Caitlin her PE. And I wonder what way the haters are going to twist this. I wonder what way the hate.
By elevating Caitlin Clark as a standalone icon rather than grouping her in with ensemble casts or relegating her to the background of male-led campaigns, Nike is reshaping the blueprint for how female athletes are marketed. This isn't performative inclusion. It's strategic spotlighting. And it's working. For the first time, a female basketball player is being treated not as an accessory to a male brand, but as the centerpiece of a global one. This repositions women's basketball entirely not as a niche market, but as a mainstream entertainment powerhouse. The ripple effect is massive: higher ratings, bigger crowds, increased media coverage, greater corporate investment, and a transformed cultural perception of the women's game. Nike's decision to center Caitlin isn't just a branding shift, it's a business model change. One that proves female athletes can drive massive ROI. As for the critics, let them complain. Because while they stew in their bitterness, the rest of us are watching the most dynamic player in basketball rewrite the future of the sport. And Nike? They're finally where they should have been all along, right by her side, surfing the wave of the Caitlin Clark era.